Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup present Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends. This is your host of the Inner Sanctum, welcoming you to another half hour of mystery and terror. Guaranteed to take 10 years off your life. Don't just stand there. Come on in. We've been fixing up the place, making it more homey. Yes, you see that beam over there with the rope hanging down? You just stand on the table, put your head through the noose, and, that's right. It's for the convenience of anyone who feels like hanging around after the broadcast.
I wish you wouldn't say things like that.
Oh, you're right, Mary. I'm a bad host. Here, I invite everybody to hang around, and there's only one rope. I guess we'll have to hang together instead of hanging separately.
Now, please.
Unless, of course, we want to hang ourselves with a black ribbon that comes with that Lipton sterling silver medallion. We've got plenty of them, haven't we, Mary?
Well, I don't know. Thousands of women are writing in every day for that special sterling silver medallion. So I'd advise all of you ladies who want to own one to send in for it tonight. Yes, they're going mighty fast, because this medallion is made of solid sterling silver, and it's decorated with the Chinese symbol for good luck. The medallion is just the right size, too, about 1 inch in diameter. You can wear it as a necklace or a choker because it's hung on a narrow black rayon satin ribbon, or if you wish, you can simply add it to your charm bracelet. And here's how you get this handsome medallion. Listen. Just send 25 cents and the box top from a package of Liptons, the tea with the brisk flavor, to Lipton Tea, Box 92. That's Box 92, New York City.
All right, Mary. I'll write down the address on the cuff of my shroud. And now, friends, tell me, do you like holidays? Well, you won't after you hear tonight's story. It's called Dead Man's Holiday. And it's an original radio play by that cryptic mystic, Robert Sloane. Yes, and our star tonight is Myron McCormick, who plays the role of Eric. Not far from the waterfront, in a gloomy shack where death hovers near, a man stirs uneasily on a blood-stained cot. As he struggles for the last breaths of life, his tortured mind forces words to his lips.
They don't have to tell me. I know I can't live more than a little while longer. And I don't want to live. I want this nightmare to end. As it should have ended long before that day I was hurt on the train. I remember it so clearly. Sitting in the coach, looking out the window, and then suddenly the train shuddered to a violent stop. The jolt lifted me clear out of my seat and threw me against the glass window, which broke as I hit it. For a moment, I was stunned. But in the back of my mind, I could hear the conductor quieting the passage.
All right, please, it's all right, I tell you. Nothing serious has happened. We struck an empty car on the grade crossing. The engineer had a jam on the brakes. Is there anybody hurt? Anybody need a doctor around here? Are you all right?
The conductor was coming down the aisle, questioning passengers, looking them over. My head was clear now. And immediately, I thought of my wife, in the seat next to mine. I turned to see if she'd been injured. But there, in the seat which she had occupied, was a man I'd never seen before. He spoke to me.
You all right?
Oh, yes, I was shaken up a bit, but I'm all right now.
You've got a nasty cut on your lip.
All right. I guess it was the glass. Will you excuse me, please?
What's the matter?
My wife. I'm looking for my wife. She was sitting right next to me. Eleanor? Eleanor, where are you?
What's wrong, sir?
My wife. She's gone, conductor. She's gone.
All right, no. Don't get excited.
She was sitting right next to me, right where this man is sitting now.
You must be mistaken.
What?
There wasn't any woman sitting next to you.
What are you trying to tell me? My wife was sitting in that seat.
All right, sir. If she's on the train, we'll find her. Well, in the meantime, you'd better come with me and have that lip of yours attended.
Not until I find out what's happened.
Nothing's happened, mister. You're just a little dazed, that's all. Your wife isn't on this train.
That's a lie.
Why would I want to lie to you?
I don't know what your reason is, but you're trying to hide something from me.
I'm willing to swear you boarded this train alone.
How do you know that?
Because I've been sitting next to you ever since you got on.
I was taken to a hospital and given an anesthetic. When I came to, a doctor was standing over me. He said I was well enough to get dressed and leave, but when I mentioned the disappearance of my wife, he acted strange.
You've had a severe shock, Mr. Keating, and sometimes an accident like this has a way of playing tricks on the mind.
You don't believe that my wife was on that train?
I don't see how she could have been. Any number of the passengers were questioned. They all told the same story. You got on the train alone.
So you're in on it, too.
I beg your pardon?
You and the railroad and the man who was sitting next to me, you're all in on it. What are you trying to do to me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't you? Are you sure this isn't some kind of a plot to try and drive me out of my mind?
I think you need a rest, Mr. Keating. Just look at yourself in the mirror there. You see how drawn you are?
I'm all right. Good heavens. Doctor.
What's the matter?
My face. What have you done to me? What's happened to my face?
Why, nothing. I had to put a few stitches in your lip,
It's
but
not my lip. It's my whole face. Why, you've done something to it. It's different.
Mr. Keating.
It is, I tell you. You've changed my face. The next morning, I went straight to my house on Pine Street. I had no key, so I rang the bell, hoping against hope my wife would be there to answer it. But when the door opened, I was face to face with a gaunt, middle-aged woman I'd never seen before.
Yes?
Who are you?
I beg your pardon.
Come on, answer me. Who are you?
Well, I'm the housekeeper.
Don't lie to me. We don't have a housekeeper. What are you doing here?
I don't see why I should answer your question.
You'd better answer them. I'm Mr. Keating.
Who?
Mr. Keating, I live here. Where's Mrs. Keating? What have you done with her?
You must have the wrong address.
What do you mean?
Nobody by the name of Keating lives here.
What?
I work for Mr. and Mrs. Drury. Don't you see the nameplate on the door?
Yes, I see it. When did you put it there? Last night?
You got the wrong address, mister.
Oh, I have, have I? You see that picture over there? The one on the hall table?
Yes?
That's a picture of my wife.
I beg your pardon, sir, but that's a picture of Mrs. Drury.
Drury. Drury. I didn't know anybody by the name of Drury. I couldn't imagine why he or anybody else would go to so much trouble to keep me from my wife. I walked down to the corner drugstore to phone the police. But just as I got there, a car drove up and stopped. In it was the man who sat next to me on the train. I hurried over to speak to him. You remember me?
Why, yes, of course. Did you find your wife?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Can I be of any assistance to you? I work for the railroad, you know.
Yes, I had a feeling you did. What's your name?
Drury?
Drury? You live in the white house around the corner? The one on Pine Street?
That's right. How did you know?
I was just over there. I thought it belonged to a man named Keating.
Well, it did originally. You knew him?
Knew him?
Yes.
Why do you speak in the past tense? You sound as if the man were dead.
Well, didn't you know? He is dead.
You can't imagine what it was like to have him tell me that Eric Keating was dead. I was Eric Keating. I hurried away from him, kept walking toward the center of town. But it wasn't long before I realized that I was being followed by a man in a gray hat. I waited until he caught up with me. Then, as he started to pass, I stopped him purposely to get a good look at his face. Excuse me.
Yes?
Can I trouble you for a match?
Certainly.
Thanks.
Wait
Wait a minute. Why are you following me?
Who says I am?
It's pretty obvious. Now, you'd better tell me what your game is, or I'll call a cop.
That wouldn't do much good, mister. I'm on the force.
What?
Plainclothesman. Connors is the name.
Why? I don't understand. Why are you watching me?
That's my business, watching people. Your face looked kind of familiar to me. What's your name?
Eric Keating.
Try again, mister. You better tell me the truth this time.
I am telling you the truth. Why don't you believe me?
Because I happen to know where Eric Keating is right now. I saw his grave just the other day.
His grave?
Yes. He's buried in the same cemetery as my sister. Been buried for 6 years.
I had a feeling that Connors was lying. When he let me go a moment later, without proving my identity, I could have sworn he wasn't a detective. But I had to make sure. I had to catch him in a lie. I took a bus out to the cemetery. It was dark by the time I got there. But I had a flashlight, and with it, I saw the very thing I hoped I wouldn't find. A tombstone with my name on it. The shock was like a blinding light in the darkness. And for a moment, I lost my senses. Insanely, I dug into the earth with a piece of sharp stone, determined to see the empty coffin or the bones of the man who had been buried in my place.
What you doing, mister?
Connors.
You better come with me, mister.
Why? What's wrong? What have I done?
Killed a man, maybe?
What?
Here. Look at this police circular.
Wanted. For murder.
That's right. The picture underneath those words is yours or your twin brother's.
No, I'm not this man. I may look like his picture, but I'm not the man.
Your fingerprints will settle that. We've got his on the circular. Now we've got to get yours. Any objections?
Yeah. I won't go with you.
Don't you...
Hold it.
Now, there's a case of being wanted for murder, dead or alive. And this guy Keating seems to fit both conditions very well. I'd hate to see him get killed, though. It'd be like killing two birds with one stone.
I'm really sorry for that poor man. He's so confused.
I should say so, Mary. Imagine digging up a grave and finding yourself in it. Hmm? Well, that proves that a man can be two places at the same time.
Nonsense. That's impossible. But you know, as far as killing two birds with one stone is concerned, that's easy. Any lady can do that just by sending in for the Lipton sterling silver medallion.
What?
Yes. You see, this sterling silver medallion is not only lovely, but it's a very useful piece of jewelry as well. It's just the thing to brighten up a simple silk dress or a dressy suit. And it can be worn as a necklace or a choker, or simply by removing the narrow black rayon satin ribbon on which it's hung, you can add it to your charm bracelet. And the medallion makes such a smart appearance. It's made of real sterling silver, and it's decorated with the Chinese characters that stand for good luck. So you might say the medallion is a Chinese good luck charm. And best of all, ladies, the Lipton people are making it easy for you to own one of these handsome medallions. All you have to do is send 25 cents and the box top from a package of Liptons, the tea with the brisk flavor, to Lipton Tea, Box 92. That's Box 92, New York City.
Well, Mary, if the medallion really brings good luck, I hope our friend Eric Keating sends for one, because he's going to need it. When we left him, he was telling us how a detective named Connors was about to arrest him for murder. Eric resisted, and they struggled at the cemetery. Connors fired a shot.
A bullet went through my left arm before I could reach Connors with the stone I had in my hand. I pounded it against his temple. He dropped to the ground, unconscious. Then I ran as fast as I could, holding one arm with the other, losing blood all the time. Somehow, I got away. I was exhausted by the time I staggered into the doctor's.
Well, I guess you'll be all right now, Mr. Keating.
Thank you, Doctor.
Tell me, how did you happen to get this wound?
I was carrying a jar. I fell.
Oh, you'd better not lie to me, Mr. Keating. The bullet was still in your arm. Who shot you?
I don't know his name.
Well, it would help a great deal if you did. I have to report this, you know. So you'd better tell me the truth.
I will in a moment, Doctor, but first I'd like to ask you a favor.
What is it?
Do you know anything about fingerprints?
No, not a great deal.
Well, you must know something. Here, take a look at the ones on the circular.
Hmm? Why is the circular torn in half?
Never mind about that. Just look at the fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look at the ones on my hand.
Yeah?
Would you say they belong to the same man?
Unquestionably. Of course, I'm not an expert.
No, neither am I. But I can see that those are my fingerprints, all right. Somebody's done a perfect job of framing me. Either that, or I'm a murderer.
Mr. Keating, suppose I just report my work to the police and let it go at that.
I can't let it go at that. Don't you understand? I've been framed every possible way. And if I let it go, I'll be sent to the chair.
No, not if you're innocent.
I can't take the chance.
Well, I'm very much afraid you'll have to.
I reached for the paperweight on his desk. I crept a little closer. And then...
Keating, put that down!
You fool! I struck him hard on the side of the head. His body dropped to the floor, and I bent over him. My heart was pounding against my chest. Something in the back of my mind kept driving me on. A voice kept saying, "Kill him! You're a murderer! Kill him!" I don't know why, but I struck him again. And again. And again. Until his lifeless body choked out its last breath. And then I knew I was a murderer. I hurried away in the darkness, took a bus to a neighboring town. I hired a room in a boarding house. I stayed there 3 days, hiding, not going out on the street. Then, on the 4th day, the landlady paid me a visit.
You'll have to get out of here. I can't take a chance of having you around anymore. Killing that doctor. Weren't you in enough trouble already?
Shut up, I gotta think.
Gotta get out of here. They'll be searching this place before you know it.
Why?
Because you were here before. I never should have let you come back.
Come back.
Now get your coat and beat it.
Where'll I go?
Take it easy. I never let anybody down yet. Here, this is the address of a shack I own over near the waterfront. You can hide out there for a while.
Any food in that shack?
Never mind about that. I'll get in touch with Ruth and tell her where you are.
paid me a visit.
You'll have to get out of here. I can't take a chance of having you around anymore. Killing that doctor. Weren't you in enough trouble already?
Shut up. I got to think.
Gotta get out of here. They'll be searching this place before you know it.
Why?
Because you were here before. I never should have let you come back.
Come back?
Now get your coat and beat it.
Where'll I go?
Take it easy. I never let anybody down yet. Here, this is the address of a shack I own over near the waterfront. You can hide out there for a while.
Any food in that shack?
Never mind about that. I'll get in touch with Ruth and tell her where you are.
Ruth?
Yes, go on now. Get out of here before it's too late.
I waited in the shack for 2 days before this girl, Ruth, showed up. When she did get there, the first thing she said was...
Gosh, you look terrible.
Yeah, I know. I've been through a lot.
Well, start working on these groceries. You must be starved.
Yeah, thanks, I am.
I never thought I'd see you again.
Huh?
Why'd you do it?
I couldn't help myself. He was going to turn me over to the police.
I don't mean the doctor. I mean Richie.
Who?
Richie? What are you looking at me like that for?
I'm just trying to think.
You should have done some thinking before you buried his body where you did. They found it the next day.
Stop it, will you? I'm going out of my mind.
What's the matter?
Richie, Ruth, Drury, the landlady. When is it going to stop?
Hey, take it easy.
I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here right now.
Don't be crazy. You'll get caught.
I don't care. Have you got a car?
Yeah, but...
Come on.
Let go of me. Let go. You hurt me.
Come on.
Where? Where do you want to go?
Back to my house. I've got to find my wife. In the dark, we drove to my house on Pine Street. Ruth waited for me in the car as I sneaked into the garage and came up through the cellar entrance. The house was dark, except for a light in the study. My wife was sitting there, alone, reading a book. I tried not to frighten her. Eleanor? Eleanor?
That you, George?
No, dear. It's Eric.
Oh, good heavens. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Don't you recognize me, Eleanor?
No. No, get out of this house. Get out before I scream.
Darling, I've got to make you understand. I'm your husband, Eric.
You're insane. Eric is dead.
No. You mustn't believe what they've been telling you. It's all part of a scheme I can't understand, but they're against us, Eleanor. They're trying to keep us apart.
Eric is dead.
Don't say that,
He
darling.
died 6 years ago.
And you're in on it, too. You want it this way.
What do you mean?
You and Drury want to be together. That's why you framed me.
George Drury is my husband.
Is he?
Yes, we've been married for 3 years.
You can't get away with this, Eleanor. I won't let you have it. I tied her to a chair and gagged her so that she couldn't scream or call the police. Then I left the house and got back into the car with Ruth. We waited there about 10 minutes. And then I saw the man I'd been waiting for. George Drury. He was walking down the far side of the street on the sidewalk. And I knew he'd have to cross over to get to the house. So I started the car.
What are you doing?
Getting ready. He's got to cross the street. He's got to.
What are you going to do?
Run him over.
No.
Let go of me, you fool. I'm talking now.
No, please.
Shut up.
No. I'll hurt you in cold blood. Where are you going?
To pick up the body. Stay where you are. I'll be back in a second. The three of us had a long ride that night. Ruth, George Drury's body, and myself. Automatically, I seemed to know where I was heading. Even though I had no destination in my mind. I made one turn after another, unconsciously almost, until at last I came to a dark stretch of road along a railroad track. I stopped the car and got out.
What do you think you're doing?
Don't ask any questions. I'm burying the body here.
Are you crazy?
Why?
Don't this place look familiar to you?
Huh? Yes, I think it does. Can't remember why.
You lost your mind completely.
Will you stop talking like that and tell me what's wrong with this place? Why can't I bury the body here?
Because it's the same place you buried Richie.
Richie. Who is Richie? Why am I wanted for his murder?
You're wanted because you killed him in cold blood just the way you killed Drury. Only Richie was your partner. You pulled all your jobs together.
It couldn't have been me, Ruth. Not me. I didn't know Richie. I'm Eric Keating.
Is that your real name? You never told me the real one.
All right, but What's that?
Sounds like... Yeah, it's the police.
Quick, we've got to get out of here. We left Drury's body near the railroad track and drove back to the hideout on the waterfront, where Ruth had met me earlier in the evening. There, I began to sew the threads of a horrible story which had been my life for the past 6 years.
The first time I saw you was about 5 years ago.
And I looked as I look now.
Yeah, more or less. You just had a plastic surgery job done. You told me it was because your face was burned, only I didn't believe you.
Yes, that was true. My face was burned, badly.
How?
Yes, I'm beginning to remember. A railroad accident just about 6 years ago. The car I was in caught fire. I struck my head trying to climb out of a window.
You mean you lost your memory from that blow?
I must have. I must have wandered away from the scene of the wreck, not knowing who I was.
And you began a new life with people like Richie, huh?
Yes. I began to steal.
But your wife and the railroad company give you up as dead.
I can understand that. There were charred bodies in that wreck, charred beyond recognition. When I didn't show up, they must have listed me as one of them and buried another man's remains in my place. I wish it had been me.
Oh, Eric, that's awful. All the while you were suffering from amnesia, your wife thought you were dead.
I didn't believe her when she said she'd married this fellow Drury.
Oh.
Funny how I sat next to him on the train that day. The jolt sent my mind back 6 years. And I thought I was Eric Keating, coming home from a trip with my wife. Who's there?
Come out with your hands up, Katie.
It's the police.
They got this place surrounded.
You better do what he says, Eric.
What for? Why prolong the agony any more than I have to?
Eric,
Don't
get...
call me Eric. Eric Keating is dead. Now let this other man die the way he should have died.
Eric, don't be a fool. You can't get out that window. The cops got it covered.
I know it, Ruth. I know it. It's all right. I wanted it just this way.
Well, they finally got him. And this time they'll give him a grave he can call his own. I just hope he stays put this time instead of wandering as a ghost. A guy like that might not remember where he was buried.
I'm glad he's finally at rest now.
Oh, don't be so sure, Mary. That guy needs a tag on him. Maybe you ought to send him one of those sterling silver medallions. Yes, and we'll get all his aliases engraved on it, too, so the other ghosts will know who he is.
Don't be silly. There aren't any ghosts. And besides, that sterling silver medallion has just one purpose. It's simply a lovely piece of jewelry that the ladies will enjoy wearing. And ladies, to get the medallion, all you have to do is send 25 cents and the box top from a package of Lipton's, the tea with the brisk flavor, to Lipton Tea, Box 92, New York City.
Well, it's time now to button up my shroud and start combing the catacombs. If you insist on a moral for tonight's story, try this. The evil that men do doesn't always live after them. Sometimes it catches up with them. Oh, by the way, this month's Inner Sanctum Mystery novel is Lay That Pistol Down by Richard Powell. And oh, yes, next week's Inner Sanctum story, directed by Hyman Brown and brought to you by Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup. Next week's story is a real chiller-diller. It's about a man who owes a debt to society, and he tries to pay it in blood. only to discover that in so doing he has to pay a stiff price. Well, now it's time to close the squeaking door. So, good night. Pleasant dreams.
Folks, here's a modern food with an old-fashioned, homemade flavor. It's Lipton's Noodle Soup. And now, especially when the weather's so warm, try serving Lipton's as the one hot dish in a cold meal. Your family will love Lipton's famous chickeny taste. Yes, it tastes just like the chicken noodle soup you make right in your own kitchen. And Lipton's has got the same good herbs and flavorings, too. The same tender golden egg noodles. But listen, Lipton's noodle soup comes in an envelope, and it only takes a few minutes to prepare. Of course, sometimes it's hard to get in some stores these days, but there's lots of good things scarce in wartime. So remember to ask for Lipton's Noodle Soup. And remember to tune in next Tuesday night for another Inner Sanctum Mystery.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup presents Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host, welcoming you in through the squeaking door. Come in, see my latest collection of corpses. I've dug up some very interesting pieces, but of course I had to pay a stiff price. This petrified man, for instance, he's over 100 years old. They found him in a forest. That's right, aged in the woods.
My goodness, do you expect folks to believe nonsense like that?
Oh, but it's true, Mary. Look over here at this artist model. The last time she posed for a sketch, she was drawn and quartered. The artist wanted to paint her with her head in her hands, but he didn't have the nerve to axe her. So he sawed her in half.
What an imagination you have.
You don't believe me. All right. I'm not going to show you my corpse collection anymore. This is the last time.
Well, I don't believe that either. But talking of last times, folks, this is the last time on Inner Sanctum that the Lipton people are offering to send the ladies that special sterling silver medallion. Yes, ladies, this is your last chance to own a really lovely piece of jewelry without spending a lot of money for it. Now, let me describe the medallion to you. It's made of solid sterling silver. It's about 1 inch in diameter. Yes, and it's decorated with the Chinese symbol for good luck. You can wear the medallion as a necklace or a choker. You see, it's hung on a narrow black rayon satin ribbon. Or, if you wish, you can simply add it to your charm bracelet. And here's how you get this handsome medallion. Listen, just send 25 cents and the box top from a package of Lipton's, the tea with the brisk flavor, to Lipton Tea, Box 92. That's Box 92, New York City.
All right, friends. Better write that address down on a dry piece of paper. Why do I say dry? Because everything will be wet by the time we're through here. Wet with gore. Tonight's story is called Dead Man's Debt. It's an original radio play by Robert Newman. And our star tonight is Joseph Julian, who plays the role of Danny. The corner cell in the courthouse jail. Stone walls, stone floor, and a hard cot. Lying on the cot, huddled under the blanket, is Danny Gorman. His eyes are closed and his breathing is regular. But even he is not sure whether he's asleep or awake. For he's listening to a voice he's heard quite often during the past few weeks. And a voice he shouldn't be able to hear. A voice of a dead man.
Are you sleeping, Danny? Don't. It's a waste of time. A real waste.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be sleeping for a long, long time, very soon. When you're dead like I am.
No.
Yes,
No.
Danny. Did you think you were going to get away with it? You won't. You'll pay. And soon.
No, I said no. Shut up, will you? Oh.
What's the trouble in here? What are you making all that racket for?
What?
Better pull yourself together and get moving. Waiting for you downstairs, court's in session.
All right, don't rush me. I'm coming.
I'm not rushing you. Sure glad to be rid of you. Glad you won't be coming back here again.
What? What do you mean?
They'll wind up your case this morning. Hand down a verdict before lunch. 2 to 1, they do it without leaving the jury box. And 10 to 1, it's guilty.
Gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
We have?
Prisoner will rise and face the jury.
Go on, Danny. Stand up.
What is your verdict?
Not guilty.
Right. You mean? What a riot. I should have taken him up on it. 10 to 1 he wanted to give me that you were going to send me up. But I knew it. I knew you would.
Order, Mr. Russell. You quiet your client?
I apologize, Your Honor, but as you can imagine, he's been under considerable strain. Take it easy, Danny.
Danny. Oh, Danny.
Oh, Gail, hiya, baby.
I knew it too, Danny. I knew they'd let you go. They had to.
Hope you don't mind coming here to celebrate. It's not very fancy, but, well, this is where they picked me up, put the cuffs on me. I'm kind of sentimental about
That's
it.
perfectly all right.
Here's to you, Russell. You did a swell job getting me off.
Well, thank you. I had probably done better if I didn't have a conscience.
How come?
I was assigned your case. I had to defend you. And I did the best job I could. But it was a little hard to put my heart in it when I knew you were guilty. Not of the murder you were charged with, but another one.
What?
If that's supposed to be funny, Mr. Russell.
It's not, Gail. Danny was charged with the murder of Carson, a well-known jeweler, whose body was found a few miles from his country house. Danny was seen in the vicinity in the company of Stack Allen, a man with a long criminal record. Now, if you remember, there were just 3 things that saved Danny. 1, the fact that Carson was thought to have a valuable diamond on him. Danny didn't have the diamond, and it hasn't been found yet. 2, Carson was shot with a .45. Danny's gun was a .38. And 3, Stack Allen has disappeared. Now, on the basis of these 3 facts, I was able to convince the jury that it was Stack who killed Carson and took the diamond. And, as a matter of fact, that's what I think did happen.
Well?
The DA made one mistake. He charged you with a wrong murder. I don't believe you killed Carson, but I do think you killed Stack Allen.
That's ridiculous. Danny, tell him it's not true. Tell him.
Shut up. What are you going to do about it?
Nothing. I'm not a policeman. I'm an attorney.
You're lying.
No. You see, basically, I have great respect for the law. I believe that even though it sometimes makes mistakes, it generally corrects them. I think it'll catch up with you. In the meantime, well, there's the matter of my services. Since I saved your life, I figure you owe me a good deal.
Don't worry about that. I'll pay you.
Yes? How?
Never mind that. I said I'd pay you.
You don't have the money now. I know that. If you wanted me to, I could probably help you.
I don't want any help from you or anyone else. I said I'd pay you, and I will. Come on, Gail. Let's get out of here.
Are you sleeping again, Danny? That's a mistake. A waste of time. You'll be sleeping for a long, long time when you're dead like I am.
Stack, no, leave me alone.
I can't, Danny. Not until you pay for what you did to me. And you will pay for that. And soon.
Huh? Who's that? Who's there?
It's me, Danny. Gail.
Oh. Okay, just a second.
Hello, Danny.
Hi.
Starting to get a little worried about you. You all right?
Sure, I'm all right. What is there to worry about?
Well, it's been a week since I saw you. I've been hearing things. That you were hanging around with the old gang again. With Frankie.
So what?
You mean it's true? Danny, you shouldn't. You know what almost happened, what would have happened if it hadn't been for Mr. Russell.
Russell.
You wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for him. Danny, you said you were going straight, and instead... He wanted to help you, remember?
How are you, Danny?
Russell, what are you doing here? Look, if you're worried about your dough, I told you I'd pay you.
I never said anything about money, Danny. And I'm not worried about being paid. I'm a firm believer in balancing accounts. We pay for everything we do.
What are you driving at?
You killed Stack Allen for the diamond you took from Carson. But you never got the diamond. Suppose I help you find it.
What? How do you know where it is?
I don't know. I'm only guessing. But if you show me where you buried Stack's body, I think maybe we can find it together.
You're just trying to trap me. Tag me with Stack's murder.
I told you I was an attorney, not a policeman.
Okay. Okay, I'll take a chance on it. Get your car, I'll show you. Go easy now. Turn off there to the left.
Into the woods?
Yeah. Just a little further. All right, go slow. Okay, now stop.
I think you'd better stay here, Gail. It's not going to be very pleasant.
No, it's all right. I'll come.
Just as you like. Now, tell me again just how it happened, Danny.
Well, we drove down here after we knocked Carson off to decide just what we're going to do. I had a feeling Stack was going to plug me so he wouldn't have to split with me, and I decided to beat him to it. He went over there. He sat down on that log. And he was playing with his ear the way he used to, pulling on it. I let him have it. I searched him, but I couldn't find the diamond.
What did you do with the body?
I dug a deep hole right there. I dumped him in it, and I piled wood on it, and then built a fire. And after it burned down, I covered it up.
Okay. Let's get the shovels out of the car and start digging.
Hey, my shovel hit something. I think it's him.
Gail, will you go back to the car?
No, I'm going to stay. I just won't look.
There he is. At least his bones.
Put your shovel under his skull and lift it carefully.
Hey, the diamond. The diamond's lying right underneath him. How did you know?
I didn't. I told you I was guessing. You saw him take it from Carson, knew he had it with him, but you couldn't find it when you searched him. You mentioned that when he was thinking, he had a way of playing with his ear.
His ear, of course. That was it. He hid it in his ear. Maybe he figured I was going to stick him up with something. Maybe. Anyway, I got it now. We're rich, you hear, Gail? We're rich.
Yes, I hear.
What are you looking at me for that way?
Danny, I loved you for a long time. Even when I knew there were things wrong with you. I stuck with you through the trial because I thought you were innocent. That you hadn't killed Carson. Now I hate you.
I stood trial. I got off, didn't I? I paid for the diamond. And now it's mine.
Yes, Danny. It's yours. But you haven't paid for it. You're only going to start paying for it.
There's our friend, Mr. Bones, again. You know, I don't mind his talking from the grave, but I wish he'd stop heckling Danny and not sound so much like a bill collector. After all, he didn't do so badly. He not only got buried, he got cremated, too.
Yes, he paid the penalty for his crime.
Yeah, but what right has he got to be so moral after he's dead? And so vain, too, wearing a diamond in his ear. Next thing you know, we'll see a skeleton walking around wearing a Lipton sterling silver medallion.
That will never happen, I assure you.
Is that so? Well, let me tell you about a skeleton who could fly.
Now, stop. That's enough. You let me tell you about a real flyer, an American pilot, whose life was saved by the original of that sterling silver medallion that the Lipton people are offering to the ladies. Now, listen, folks, because this is a true story. It seems that a year or so ago, an American flyer had to bail out over enemy territory. Fortunately, he was rescued by Chinese guerrillas, and they gave him a medallion with Chinese letters on it. They said that this medallion would bring him safely through the lines. Well, he did get through, and only then did he learn that the letters meant good luck in Chinese. Now, there's a story to tell your friends when they're admiring your sterling silver medallion on its narrow black rayon satin ribbon. And to get this Chinese good luck charm, just like the one the flyer carried, all you have to do is send 25 cents and the box top from a package of Lipton's, the tea with the brisk flavor, to Lipton Tea, Box 92. That's Box 92, New York City.
And now, friends, back to the story of Danny Gorman, who was tried for the wrong murder and who's found, so far at least, that crime does pay, and very nicely, too. It's about an hour later now, and a car with 3 very silent people in it has just reached the outskirts of the town.
What's the matter with you two, anyway? What are you sitting there like a pair of mummies for? Why don't you say something?
I said everything I had to there in the woods, Danny.
I've got nothing to say.
No, nothing at all. Don't try and pull a lily act now, Russell. Don't forget, you're in this as deep as... Hey, wait a minute. Stop right here. Yeah, that's right, in front of that hock shop.
Where are you going?
Inside to see a friend. Might just as well get the dough to pay you off right now. And I won't have to listen to any more of your double talk. Hello, Finney.
Well, Danny. Haven't seen you in a long time. And I didn't think I'd ever be seeing you again.
How come?
Yeah, I thought that anybody who'd just beaten a murder rap would have sense enough to keep in the clear. Not get mixed up with anything hot. Or is this a social visit?
Not exactly. Take a look at this.
It's a very nice diamond. Very nice indeed.
What's it worth?
Well, you really want to know what it's worth? You want to know what I'll give you for it?
What's the difference?
A great deal. It's worth, let me take another look at it. Yes, it's worth $10,000, maybe $12,000. I'll give you $2,000 for it.
What? Why, you old... What's the idea?
It's very simple, Danny. You were tried for Carson's murder, and you got off because you had a good lawyer and because there wasn't enough evidence. But if you were tried again, right now, you wouldn't do so well. Because this is the very best kind of evidence right here. You see, I happen to know that this is Carson's diamond.
Yeah?
Yes, Danny. That means that you wouldn't dare take it to anybody else. It wouldn't be wise for you even to take it out of this shop. And that's why it's very generous of me to offer you $1,500 for it.
$1,500? But you just said... Okay, Finney. Take the diamond, give me the dough.
That's very sensible of you, Danny. Come back tomorrow about the same time.
Nothing doing. I'm taking a powder out of town. I want the dough right now.
All right, Danny. Wait out there, and I'll get it for you. $7, $21, $4, and there we are. Let's see.
No. Sorry, it had to be a knife, Finney.
Danny, you... Down.
Couldn't take a chance with a gun, not with my friends outside. Shouldn't have driven such a hard bargain. Because now I'm not only going to take the diamond back, I'm going to take every cent you got in the safe. After all, it won't do you any good anymore.
All right?
Yeah, let's get going.
You seem quite pleased with yourself.
Why shouldn't I be? Get rid of the diamond, and I finally got my hands on some real dough. Can pay you off now. What do I owe you?
I told you, Danny. A great deal. Your life.
Okay, don't build it up. What do you want in cash?
I never said anything about money, Danny. There is something I want. When the right time comes, I think I'll get it.
Who is it?
Me, Danny. Frankie.
Oh, just a second. Hiya, Frankie.
Fine. A little worried about how you were.
Me? How come?
That little job last night. Said you wanted to get in on it, then you never showed up. So maybe you were sick or something.
Oh, that, No. It was just that, well, I changed my mind.
Yeah?
Yeah, I kind of thought it over. I decided, I better stay in the clear. Go straight from now on.
That's smart, Danny. Real smart.
Yeah, I think so. How'd it go?
Smooth as silk. We ended up with stuff worth, well, 3 or 4 G's anyway.
Yeah, swell.
Yeah. It's only after it was all over that we ran into something kind of funny.
What was that?
Well, the stuff was kind of hot, and we thought we ought to unload right away, so we went down to Finney's. You know, the fence.
Yeah.
We got there, it didn't seem like there was anyone around. I took a gander in the back room, and you won't believe this, but the safe was open. Cleaned out. There was Finney, dead.
What? Well, have any idea who did it?
I don't know. He'd been knifed. Whoever got him left in such a hurry they forgot to take the knife with them. I got it right here.
Well, let's see it.
No, don't touch it, Danny. You might get your fingerprints on it, and that'd be bad. I said don't touch it. I'll try any monkey tricks or I'll blast you for keeps. So you were going straight, eh? You mealy-mouthed double-crosser. Where's the diamond?
What are you talking about?
Don't give me that. You think I know your knife when I see it? There's only one reason you'd go to see Finney. To cash in on that diamond you and Stack took from Carson. Well, I want it.
Okay, Frankie, you can have it. I've been having nothing but tough luck ever since I first laid eyes on it. It's over there in my bureau, hidden under my socks. I'll get it for you.
You're starting to show some sense.
Yeah, I think so. More sense than to let you leave here knowing what you know. Now, get my friend the lawyer down here. Everything will be hunky-dory. Oh, you sure got down here fast, Russell. Hey, what's the idea?
Bringing Gail with me? I thought she might be interested in anything you might have to say to me. You said something about another case?
Yeah. Look over there, in the corner.
Oh.
Frankie Ring. And he's dead.
You killed him?
Yeah. It was self-defense. So he came down here to get me to go out on a job with him. I told him I wouldn't, that I was going straight, and he pulled a gun. There it is in his hand. See? I got my own rod from the bureau, and, well, that was that. Sound okay?
Fine.
You know, it ain't going to be easy, I know. Me coming up for a second murder rap. But you can get me off. I got plenty of dough this time. I can really pay. The thing is, what do we do first?
We don't do anything, Danny. There are a lot of things you can do. But my suggestion is that you call the police. Give yourself up.
What? You mean you're not going to take this case?
No, Danny.
Why not? You fronted for me the last time.
Yes, Danny, and I told you why. I was assigned the case, couldn't turn it down. Besides, you were being tried for the wrong murder. But this time it won't be the wrong murder. It'll be the right one. This is the one I said was finally going to catch up with you.
I see. Is your car downstairs by any chance?
Yes. Why?
I'm starting to feel a little restless. Let's go places. Go ahead, march.
Danny, what are you going to do?
Are you kidding? You know about Stack and about Freddie. Somehow I don't think I'd sleep so good knowing that you knew. Besides that, there's one more you don't know about, Finney. I got him yesterday while you were waiting in the car. After your first 3, they started to come easy, even dames. We're going to take a little ride together. But I got a feeling we're not all of us coming back. Keep driving till I tell you to stop.
Right.
taking this awful quiet, the two of you. Maybe you don't think I'm going to go through with it.
Oh, I think you intend to, all right. Whether you will or not is another story. So is the reason I'm taking it this way. Maybe this is as good a time as any to tell you a few things. Why I took your case in the first place.
Well?
It was because of Carson. He was my father's best friend. Kind of a second father. It was he who put me through law school. When he was murdered, I made up my mind to get to the bottom of it, find out who killed him. I didn't think it was you, and it wasn't. You were involved. And I knew that if I helped you get what the murder was committed for, the diamond, eventually you'd pay for the murder you committed. Well, now you've got not one, but 3 murders to pay for.
What are you stopping for?
A railroad crossing. There's a train coming. Can't you hear the bell?
Told you to keep going till I said for you to stop.
Okay. Hey, what's the idea? You stalled the car.
Yeah. To make sure it stays stalled, I'll just take these keys.
Danny, we're right on the track.
Yeah, this is it. You fell in love, see? You ran away together, smacked into the train. Now, don't try the doors. They're locked. I'll just wait over here and make sure everything goes the way it should.
Well, Gail?
Somehow I'm not frightened. And I don't care.
Hey, my foot! My foot! It's caught in the train! Hey, it's not coming down your track. It's coming down this one! Hey, Russell! Gail, help me! Help!
Oh, Danny.
Yes. He was on the wrong track. Then he'd been on the wrong track for a long time.
John, what was it you said before about why you took the case? Was it true?
Yes.
But you always talked about payment, about something you wanted.
I wanted justice. And I also wanted something else. Someone Danny had at first and then lost. Someone he didn't deserve.
John.
Yes, Jess. That's right. You.
Say, what is this anyway? Inner Sanctum or Love's Old Sweet Song? You'd better get yourself another tune, Professor. Or I'd better get myself another program to haunt. That's right. One more sappy ending like that, and they can get themselves another host.
Why, what was the matter with that ending? I thought it was the nicest one we've had this year. I thought it was sweet the way those two people discovered they loved each other.
Listen, Mary, there's only one kind of sweet stuff that goes on this program, and that's sweet essence of cyanide.
Oh, good gracious. This is the last show of the season. Can't you be human just this once?
All right, Mary, I'll tell you what I'll do. When Gail and that lawyer get married, I'll send her a Lipton sterling silver medallion for a wedding present.
Well, they'll have to get married real soon then, because this is the last time on Inner Sanctum that the Lipton people are offering to send that special medallion. Yes, ladies, this is your last chance to get a solid sterling silver medallion hung on a narrow black rayon satin ribbon. A lovely piece of jewelry to wear with your simple silk dresses and with your dressy suits as well. So you'd better send for your medallion tonight. Just send 25 cents and the box top from a package of Liptons, the tea with the brisk flavor, to Lipton Tea, Box 92, New York City.
And now, a word of advice, friends. Don't let tonight's story, all this business about dead men's debts, prey on your mind too much. If you should wake up at about 2 in the morning and hear strange footsteps coming up the stairs toward your room, don't worry. It won't be a homicidal maniac. It will probably be the ghost of a bill collector coming to collect IOU. By the way, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is Lay That Pistol Down by Richard Powell. Well, now it's time to close up shop until the end of August. Much too hot to go around murdering people. And down at the morgue, everybody's planning to stay on ice for the summer. So we'll be back to haunt you on Tuesday, August 28th, with more Inner Sanctum stories directed by Hyman Brown. Better have that date tattooed on your chest. Tuesday, August 28th. Until then, remember to serve Lipton, the tea with a brisk flavor, iced as your summertime beverage. And be sure to serve Lipton's noodle soup as the one hot dish with a cold meal. And now it's time to close the squeaking door. So, good night. Pleasant dreams.